Here we are, right now. The peace of God is shining in me now. I wait for heaven. Those who seek the light are merely covering their eyes. The light is in them now. Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. Light is not of the world, yet you who bear the light in you are alien here as well. The light comes with you from your native home and stays with you because it is your own. It is the only thing you bring with you from Him who is your source. It shines in you because it lights your home and leads you back to where it came from, and you are at home. Look, this light cannot be lost. Why wait to find it in the future, or believe it has been lost already, or was never there? It can so easily be looked upon that arguments which prove it is not there become ridiculous. Who can deny the presence of what he beholds in him? It is not difficult to look within, for there all vision starts. There is no sight, be it of dreams or from a truer source, that is not but the shadow of the seen through inward vision. There perception starts, and there it ends. It has no source but this. Listen, the peace of God is shining in you now, and from your heart extends around the world. It pauses to caress each living thing and leaves a blessing with it that remains forever and forever. What it gives must be eternal. It removes all thoughts of the ephemeral and valueless. It brings renewal to all tired hearts and lights all vision as it passes by. All of its gifts are given everyone, and everyone unites in giving thanks to you who gave and you have received. You listen, the shining in your mind reminds the world of what it has forgotten, and the world restores the memory to you as well. From you, salvation radiates with gifts beyond all measure, given and returned. To you, the giver of the gift, does God Himself give thanks, and in His blessing does the light in you shine brighter, adding to the gifts you have to offer to the world. Listen.
When I'm calling you,
It's a calling. It's a calling.
I will answer too.
Coming from out of this framework of time.
That means
Can you see it? We have some guests coming in here. See? It's thoughts of my mind.
What if when you hear my love call ringing clear,
Here.
and I hear your answering echo so dear,
This is why it's a miracle. Look.
when I will know.
Ah. Now, the way it was a moment ago, it's now suddenly entirely different. Listen. Okay? Now, what I want to impress on you for this next 26 minutes that we have left are the possibility of altering association of reflections of light, all right, that in the hologram of yourself will give you an entirely different image of what you thought was a procedure of the drama of the story you're telling me. Now, may I use you as an example? We have a special artist that came in here. When I offer you, all right, the idea, I'm particularly certain that you are aware that I'm telling you that the universe is what I think I am in my own mind. No, it's not going to be more than that, and it's not going to be less than that. And your whole dilemma in the problem that you have is the belief that it's more or less. And it can't be. Here, remember in the mind training, okay, the group that has come in to do a reassociation of the lessons of the Course in the miracle of your mind, in a procedure of altering your physical association. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to begin, all right, and simply do up to the first 15 lessons of the Course, because that's really all that you would need to do. But the idea that the thought is in your mind can be a combination of what you want to see about it. All right? Okay? Now, that variance right there was a call that you heard, right? This is why it's a miracle, that you couldn't hear before. Now, it isn't, for example, that you knew what it meant. You simply couldn't hear it. When you hear the lessons that I'm about to do for you, they will change the manner of the tempo of the voice in which you aggregate yourself in the distance between your past and your future association. You all right with that? I'm going to show you. Would you like an example of it? Here, when I came in here, remember, okay, I was playing When I'm Calling You. Now that's gone. Yet I have in me a memory of you and I here, okay? Let's look, for example, at these first 15 lessons right now. Let's look at them. Let's look at them. Welcome to your new home. This is a proven direct method of restoring communication with the creative source of all that is or ever can or will be. It's an invitation to an immediate contact with the singular power of the reality of eternal life that is all about you. Remember, you have never really been separate from this totality of all being. Remember, there is not, nor has there ever been, anything whatsoever to fear. Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this I see. This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgment has been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgment because I want to see. I want to see. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I've judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it's not understandable. There's no sense in trying to understand it, but there's every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I'm trying to think without God, because I'm trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts at all. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God, and I'm not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place, and I'm willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I'm not really upset all about this, and this is why I came here today, because you were obviously questioning your own capacity to view something that came to visit you. I'm never upset for the reason I think, because I'm constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I'm constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want, and I'm willing to let it go. Now, I'm upset because I see what is not there. Reality has never frightened me. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions that I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I've given them reality and thus regard reality as an illusion. Now, nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine. I am really upset by absolutely nothing. And the reason is very simply this: I see only the past. Now, I came back. Those of you who heard me read those first 7 lessons, may not be particularly impressed yet. Now, from now on, I'm going to remind you of the nature of our involvement with a very important idea. Say to me, time.
Time.
Say to me, now.
Now.
What I'm going to inform you of is the idea, that the thoughts that I have about myself that come from God are obviously continuing and going on all the time. Now, what I'm going to remind you of is that you're really not seeing anything. You're really not seeing anything. you're really not seeing anything. Okay, you can listen with me. Huh? Will you? You want to listen with me? Listen. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remember who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. Now, there will be no past, and therefore no enemies. And I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. But I am so busy with thoughts about myself that I haven't been able to do it. I haven't been able to acknowledge that I've been preoccupied. When I came in here, you were so busy offering a distances of receptual association of what you thought you were, that it's hard for you to see in your preoccupation with the idea of a system, a value of yourself, that you've been busy. Now, the mind training of A Course in Miracles teaches you that the distance between the past, which you have projected into the future in order to create an image of yourself, are what are holding you in the bondage of your self-identity. Listen with me. Will you listen with me? My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I'm trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I'm actually giving up nothing, because obviously, as I came in here, I'm seeing nothing as it is. Say to me now. Now. I can't see it as now. I'm too preoccupied with an association that's already over, which I'm projecting into the future in order to hold myself in my past and my future association. Listen. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. Say to me, I can see only what is now.
I can see only what is now.
Yes. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now, I would choose again that I may see. Very simply, because my thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts. Yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? I'm going to try this with you. This is the enjoyment. Some of you have finally said, where's he getting that? He's getting this out of a mind training book, okay, of which you can be what's called A Course in Miracles, in case you're interested in it. By the time you get to this level of association, this is offering you nothing but a continuing exchange in what you think you are. And the manner in which it finally performs is tell you simply that the images that you've been getting of yourself are totally meaningless, Huh? Are you ready? Okay, listen. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. The world that pictures them has no meaning. What is producing this world is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane, and I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide for actually seeing. Now, I'm obviously upset because every time I see something, it reminds me of images of my old association. And the fact of the matter is the thought process of my memory contains visions of myself as a body form that I don't particularly like. Okay, listen with me. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world, and I'm grateful that this world is not real, and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it, and I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. Now, if I do, I'm obviously going to be afraid. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now, I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in His mind. It is in my mind too, because He created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home? We're going to do one more lesson here. I'm going to take a break with you, all right, in the idea of the images of which I'm going to be aware of, okay? Watch me. I'm a reflection of light, all right, coming into an idea, yet it's possible for me within that association to change my mind about what is coming in here so that the reflection that I'm going to get will be different than that. Listen with me. Will you listen? My thoughts are reflections of light that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death show me that I'm seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against Him because it is not my will that they do so. My will is His, and I will place no other gods before Him. Now, in the idea of a present now condition which you're in, you're getting a bright light that I'm going to take a batch of you out with me. Now, you may not be able to recognize the manner in which that perfection of yourself is actually accomplished because you appear to be present with me, okay, in what the reflection of my light is. What I'm offering you is a revision in the miracle that actually gives me a better reflection of the light in which you and I can love each other. Now, the reason that is true is very simply because there's only going to be one God. Now, all of you out there who wonder what you are as a body, don't be concerned about it. The vision of yourself in a better body reflection is only going to represent the light of God no matter what you do. The light of God no matter what you do. Now, I'm going to take this sequence out with me. Can you see that? Now, I'm going to walk through that association. Okay, that's what you call the past. Now, can you walk into the past? Or you have to walk into the past because it's not out in the future. It's going to be the distance that you step back in the notation, in the hologram of light, where you're able to get a brighter reflection of yourself, although at the moment it may appear to be darker. 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 Listen with me. This is a miraculous correspondence. We have been revolutionized to a spontaneously creative self-identity through the power of a singular universal reality. It is always initially astonishing to a newly awakened teacher of God to discover that the manner in which he thinks has undergone a radical transformation. His former limited consciousness construct finally has nothing to do with the complete expose. He stands naked with his own certainty. He has lost the capacity for specific comparison. Once more, he has lost the capacity for specific comparison. The wholeness of his thinking inevitably makes the objective rationale of limited consciousness seem absolutely crazy to him. He is thrust into the position of seeing that his former value system, based on specific conclusions arrived at by comparison and analyzation, has no validity or even reality. Here he is. He finds himself in an illogical, unreasonable place. Listen, here's what he must do. He must now deal with his absolute, unqualified certainty that this objectively constructed world is totally meaningless except to the necessity of bringing about the revelation that established his own transcending consciousness. Listen just for a minute about the unconditional love of God. Our love for you is unconditional. Unconditional love is not a state of universal consciousness, but rather what consciousness itself is. As awakened teachers, we love you totally. Very simply, because the parts about you that you think of as unlovable have absolutely no meaning to us. We understand that you continue to think that they do. In our process of awakening, we have all been shown individually and separately within our own mind, and often graphically, dramatically, and somewhat catastrophically, the total unreality of separate individual human minds on earth. In other words, we have come to know who we really are and that there is no world or such a place as this. I'm back. I left by going back to the original time of the occurrence. Now, most of you, and I'm using what we call the holographic universe to describe to you the revision of yourself based on your old association with yourself. You okay with that? Well, watch me. Now, why I've come back into here, okay? Now, how much time has passed? A lot more than you think. A lot more than you think. Now, it wasn't something that's going to happen in the future. It's something that happened in the past. By going back into a reference of yourself, you get a better reflection that expands and extends the hologram of what you are in your nature with yourself. Are you okay with that? Huh? I love the idea that you're going to be able to do it with me. Now, the reason you have the mind training, those of you who have decided you wanted to come here, are very simply because the place that you've come into is in a constant altering idea of what you think you are within your identity. Now, while there's nothing new about it, obviously when you go out here and see the universe out there with billions of stars, okay, and billions of planets, obviously they're not a part of what you appear to be within your own mind, okay? Now, but that does not mean that you cannot think within the process of your mind what the meaning of you is going to be. And that's why I'm here. Now, shall I tell you? The batch of consciousness that left, all right, are coming back, all right? And the time that has passed when they re-enter into the association, I'm going to describe to you in the idea of a hologram. Now, what we call this is, shall I teach for just a minute, the science of how determined you are to represent to me physically the manner in which you correspond without the entirety of the admission of the necessity to get a reflection of yourself, because that's what you're going to have to do. What do you call that? And you call that the boom. In other words, you call that an association where there's a beginning and an end in what you think. Now, the end of what you think, okay, you can see this with me? When I came in here and sat down, can only be what the beginning is. Okay, because it begins and ends simultaneously. There is a reality in you, okay, that many of you are going to be very surprised. Oh my goodness, what was that? Don't be concerned about that. That's the idea that the revision of yourself. Now, this you can call a miracle, because it's the idea that suddenly, where you had a distance between you of a past and a future relationship, has been subtracted by you, and you're in a new condition. Say to me now.
Yeah.
Are you now?
Yes.
I'm now. I'm now. I'm now. I'm now. I'm now. We just have guys came in here. Listen with me. Listen. Here's the manner in which we accomplish this. The very simple reason a human being has trouble finding God is that He's everywhere. You're looking for Him somewhere only because you think that you are somewhere, and this will be your old association. God is not somewhere that you may find Him. He is everywhere that you are. He is the mind with which you think. Listen, because you believe you are somewhere, you must believe that God is somewhere else, or God would be in your herewhere. Since God, the creator of the universe, must be by definition everywhere, your herewhere must be included in His some or anywhere. So what in hell could you possibly be worried about? Now, the reason that I enjoy reading this so much is that the power of your mind to make a decision about yourself is ultimately all that there can possibly be. Now, we use the term when we came in hologram very simply because a reflection of light. This is not to say that it's the final episode, but it's the episode that's necessary for you to shorten the distance between the projection of your mind that you brought in with you and what you intend to do if God is going to be everywhere that you go anywhere. Now, the idea that God is going to be everywhere you go anyway scares the hell out of a human being, because there's no way he can measure relatively whether it's good or bad or up or down or in or out. That is, he cannot use his own conception in order to organize himself in a reassociation of himself. Are you with me with that? Huh? Okay? Listen to how this is performed here. Listen to how this is performed here. Listen with me. This is why I came back. We cannot finally show you what life and love are, but only what they are not. You proclaim your need for love, yet is love not a necessity, but a reality. Need will always be for more than love, which is what everything is. Need is not lack of love, but really lack of more hate and isolation. How could the miracle be possible if there were a real alternative to it? All healing is miraculous. Here's a definition of a human being. An unreal condition of temporal cause and effect association that frightens itself to annihilation or death as an alternative to an uncompromising admission and subsequent recognition of a singular totality of love eternal created by universal mind. Now, I'm going to read you one more because I feel like it. When an association who knows what it is comes here and tries to teach the idea of love, which is what God is. In other words, God's going to love you without regard to what you think you are. Yet it's impossible within your own mind that you will not be the love of God. Now, the way he says it here is interesting, very simply because in your determination to love God, you're actually applying all of you can to keep yourself separate within a past and a future situation. What are you afraid of? Say to me, now.
Now.
Say it again.
Now.
Now. Now. Now. Now. Those of you who let yourself come into that now actually had an experience of a moment of darkness that immediately expanded. What you did was step back, okay? And you were a little too fearful. So you quickly projected an idea into the future, and you're living in that idea, okay? Listen with me. Listen. Many of us have discovered that being scared to death, that is, whoa, what was that? That scared me. That was love. Well, I know, but it scares me anyway. I love the idea of the nature of the excitement of a correspondence with you, but I'm not sure that I know who you are within my own mind. Now, the idea that you know who he is will come to you as we go back into a single moment of the entirety of ourselves. Okay, what's that word?
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. Okay, there's a metamorphosis, the teaching of the reassociation of the body, or the nature of how you found this correspondence. Okay, I'm going to sing you a song that will be coming on here now. It's called Metamorphosis. It's the totality of the idea that who you thought you were is not actually who you are. And neither past or present is going to help you with this, all right? Because very simply, you're afraid of the now. You see that? Now, the universe, which is collapsing in on you in what you call a hologram of light in the idea of the gravity of the darkness will convert you instantly to the light factor. So you protect yourself and remain dark within that faculty. Okay? Listen. Will you listen with me? Will you? Listen. Now, here's what we said. Many of us have discovered that being afraid to death is really accepting and admitting the uncompromising simplicity of what the Course in Miracles teaches is a perfectly natural and necessary beginning of the metamorphosis of self-awareness. As the transformation to whole mind progresses, we discover in happy amazement that we have really been dead and are only being frightened to life. What an amazing idea! For indeed, it was death that we treasured and life that we feared. Now, what you have to see is this. This is the whole idea of a hologram. Now, I want to keep this real simple for you because you have a tendency to believe that a hologram will be something other than what you are. Now, the problem with a hologram is the certainty that it will represent what is a process within your own mind of what you want to see. Now, I'm going to read you a little bit, and if it seems like a little bits and pieces of it do not organize, is a breakup of your idea of yourself. All right. Now, that's because you can depend on an old association of death, and formulate it into another death idea of what you want to see within your hologram. Now, those of you who have never seen a video like this, it's a little hard for you to actually recognize what's happening. Now, this is a hologram. Look at this. All right. Now, what we actually learn from it is to come into a now. Look at this. I'm coming into a now, and I'm going to surround myself with what a hologram is. The reflection that I'm getting from you is actually only in my own mind. Now, because you consider it to be separate, all right, or the manner in which you circle the light about you in order not to see that it's actually your own light, all right? Now, when you do that, you will get a fearful objection to what I appear to be in my consciousness of self. In other words, I'll be a different human being than you are. Now, come on. Now, all human beings die. Say that to me, they die. Of course, holographically, they're in images that begin and end. And somewhere in the idea of this 40,000-year cycle, there's a beginning and an end, and you know it. What I'm offering you, and you get very satisfied with it, and you live within that circle, but how are you going to get out into the universe? How are you going to expand outward, all right, in the idea of a hologram, unless you're able to convert the darkness to light? Now, you listen with me. Listen to me. We were waiting for that light to come in here. Here it comes. Now, where's it coming from? A future reference? Well, it's coming from a future reference, but it's actually past. And while it wasn't scheduled yet, the idea of a combination of thought will let it be true with you. Listen with me. Listen. A hologram of light. Afraid of. Now, when that image suddenly appears here, I assure you, dear friends, you've been aware for 40,000 years that images suddenly appear out of nowhere, okay? The idea that they appear out of nowhere are simply the fact that at that moment you catch a glimpse of them within the holographic image of what you think you are, okay? Now, you listen with me. Listen. We can now answer some of those questions about the ultimate limits of information storage of what you are. A device measuring a centimeter across could, in principle, hold up to 10 to 66 bits, a mind-boggling amount. The visual universe contains at least 10 to 100 bits of entropy, which could in principle be packed inside a sphere a tenth of a light year across. Estimating the entropy of the universe is a difficult problem, however, and much larger numbers requiring a sphere almost as big as the universe itself are entirely plausible. But it is another aspect of the holographic bound that is truly astonishing, that the maximum possible entropy depends on the boundary of what appears to surround you instead of the actual volume. We are piling up computer memory chips in a big heap. The number of transistors increases with the volume of the heap. Remarkably, though, the theoretical ultimate information capacity of the space occupied by the heap increases only with the surface area, because volume increases more rapidly than surface area. At some point, the entropy of all the chips would exceed the holographic bound. What fails is the pile of energy itself, which will collapse under its own gravity and form what we call a black hole before that impasse is reached. Now, there's no reason why, within the reasonableness of your mind, that you know, and I'm talking directly to you, in the idea that the hologram of light that you're receiving are actually only pertaining to what you are within your relationship with yourself. Now, are you able to see this? No. You know why you can't see it? You're afraid of it. What does Jesus say to you about having to love your enemy? What he says is the reflection of light that you're getting has already been included in with yourself, even though you resist it by refusing to step back into the association of yourself and what you want to see. Can you see that with me? Can you see the idea that the miracle by which you perform a holographic image of yourself is what you are? Listen to 1 minute of this, okay? Listen. The amazing part about it is that the reflection of light in what you hear is a memory that's deep within you. Listen with me. An ancient promise will be kept. An exit portal from this infinitely small maze of space and time has been opened. Remember, time lasted but an instant in your mind, with no effect upon eternity, and so is all time past, and everything exactly as it was before the way to nothingness was made. The tiny tick of time in which the first mistake was made, and all of them within that one mistake held also the correction for that one, and all of them that came within the first. And in that tiny instant, time was gone, for that was all it ever was. What God gave answered to is answered and is gone. The hologram of light that you're feeling within this association has been reformulated by a group of associations who are very much aware that the energy of light allows them not to be a body, but to constantly transform their body identity so that they don't have to be concerned about how it's going to be within the hologram. Now, I'm going to offer you this in its entirety in about 30 seconds, very simply because the time element involved can only be as I step back. It will shorten what I thought I had to do. I don't need another death experience. Right? There is no death. The Son of God is going to be free. There's no sense in you trying to convince me that I can die along with you. But it's up to me to make that decision, not you. Because the salvation that Jesus reminds you of comes from the power of my mind to set up a circle of an atonement where that light will be visible. Okay? Have you got it? All right? Now, look at, watch this. Now, there you are. Now, the light that's coming down now, that many of you are seeing, some of you may suddenly just disappear. You know what? Just a moment ago, you were here, but you're gone. It doesn't make any difference what you do, because as you step back, it converts the entirety of the darkness, which is what death is, to life. So you've given up the idea of dying. That is, you're not trying to use that as an effort. You're letting yourself be loved. I love you. Okay? I love you. I'll see you in this new hologram of light. I'll see you in this new hologram of light. I'll see you in this new hologram of light. I'll see you in this new hologram of light.